Steam recently has done a lot of changes, and it doesn't look like they're gonna stop anytime soon.
Back to the show, everyone. Today we get to talk about Valve and Steam because they're giving Steam a bit of a clean, and this will hit all of us. We're seeing demos be a bit different, store pages are shifting, and user reviews are being reworked a bit. And there's actually more than just that. Valve are also cooking up something with SteamOS that I think could be kinda huge, but we'll
I honestly hate how the Steam store pages look. I don't think it's good.
talk about Steam first. Valve have basically spent a week rolling out updates in a piecemeal fashion. They've been updating the Steamworks blog, and that means we have got a lot to break down today across reviews, demos, and store pages. And if you'd like even more from our team, go and check out the latest edition of Loading Screen over in Bellular.games. In that, we dive into 2025 game delays, because it turns out, yes, everything's being delayed to 2025, and the unfortunate saga of a mod that Activision killed just 2 days before launch, which really is kind of painful. So over there, you get tons of exclusive content, our videos without ads, and we get to be secure and sustainable. So it's a big win for everyone, and a big thank you to
Very cool.
really related to the game. Well, according to Valve, there's been over 140 million Steam user reviews to date, and not all of them are useful. So what they've done is they've updated the Steam user reviews so that the less useful types of reviews will be downplayed on the store page. Now, in a way,
So the most popular Steam review that's gonna be is probably gonna be a likes to 3,000 hours in the game, and the comment is sucks. That's gonna be now your most popular comment about the game, and a downvote, obviously, not an upvote. Oh yeah, this is gonna be great. Can't wait for the first. Can't wait for the most helpful comment being a dumpling recipe.
we all look at that and think, okay, right, I mean, shitpost memes, those are fine, but they're not really going to be helpful. That being said, you could also see a situation where certain types of reviews that are maybe a bit more rude or a bit more scathing, but still could be of value to a user, where
You don't need a PSN account, instantaneously assuming this is about Helldivers. Anymore to play the game. Sony's still pulling the game for countries without PSN support. Yeah, well, there you go.
those ones would end up being deprioritized. I'm sure you're all aware of what it's like when you go to like a product page and you maybe see it's got 3.5 stars, but you scroll down to the reviews and you sort of think, hang on, this is 3.5 stars. Where are all of the low reviews? Why is everything here glowing? So that's absolutely what people could be scared of here, and you could say that Valve would have an incentive to have games put their best foot forward to get more sales, though of course in the long run,
Even Valve wanting to change that part of the industry is probably not going to change that part of the industry, okay? Woke trash is going to still be woke trash, and slop is always going to be slop.
that would probably erode user confidence and be bad. So the way that they're planning to determine this is the "was this review helpful" button. So that's there, it's still going to be counted, but there's going to be more moderation past that. So here's what Valve says. The Steam moderation team looking closely at a lot of reviews and some machine learning algorithms to help scale the human judgment calls. So this is basically just Valve trying to tidy things up. You can still leave a negative shitpost review and that still will be counted towards the overall review score. Valve says as well they've got no interest in deleting the reviews of any player as long as those reviews are in the terms of service. Here's literally what they say. Their indication of whether they would recommend a game is still valuable data even if they're not able to articulate why. So that's definitely a good thing.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm sure there's some game devs who see a negative review and a shitpost and think, oh man, really? But look, that negative sentiment is probably still real and probably still there.
Yep.
Now, in theory, Valve have had something like this before with the awards system, right? Because, you can put down rewards and you can put down the funny reward as an example. So you can see Valve using those as a data point, but honestly, I think that would be a pretty
Isn't that like a meme thing from Reddit? So Reddit makes more money. Absolute losers, Reddit.
bad idea. At the end of the day, those awards are just a bit of community engagement, a bit of fun. I don't think there's something that really people would want to be used in that manner, and that's why it's good that Valve are actually doing some moderation here, like some actual moderation on top of that. So in theory, this should improve things further and help to avoid a situation where developers are getting treated unfairly based on memes. Hopefully. And to be clear, this is only the start. Valve said that they're actually working on more things while they refine this, and they basically say it should end up being a better customer experience. Will it be? Will it not be? I'm not
I wonder if this is gonna strike the good old same old AI bad conversation, because I think Valve is definitely one of those companies that's just gonna use AI for a lot of things. They already are using AI for an unbelievable amount of things, most likely. But, now it's gonna be the AI that you kind of understand and interact and know that it's there, and it's gonna kind of silently judge you and put you in the bucket of, well, when I take over humanity, do I kill you or not? So I don't know. I don't know. I hope Valve's also making their own quantum computer, because that would be great.
100% sure, but look, I'd rather have useful, positive or negative, I'd rather have useful reviews that people have rated as being helpful up there at the top, rather than just shit posts that get lots of engagement because people find it to be funny. As much as I'm all there for
I'm all for the shit posts, okay? Listen, I'm all up there, baby.
for the fun, it's user reviews. Those are actually there to serve a bit of consumer need and to educate and inform. So that's that. The next thing then is demos, and it's really interesting what's happened here. So in the past, the demo would just exist within the Steam page of its host game, its parent game. But as of July, demos are actually a separate product on Steam. That means they've got their own page, and it also means they've got their own reviews. Now that bit specifically is fascinating to me, because you can put out a demo and you can get real user review feedback for that demo, not just stuff that's you skimming a forum, but actually people casting a vote. I think that's actually going to be of real high utility for developers, but it's also going to be quite good for discoverability. This means that a demo can go out there, have its own page, essentially go viral, and get loads of positive reviews. So that even is a really strong part of marketing for a game. Now, of course, Steam is a complex network of systems. One change can impact others, and when Steam changed demos in this way, they actually broke the new and trending page of Steam, because with demos being standalone products, what basically happened is loads of chart spots were taken up for nearly a month by demos. Now, obviously, a demo pushing a full release of a paid game out of one of the highest visibility areas of Steam
It's not good for Valve.
is not really a good thing. And the good news here is that Valve have learned the lesson,
Well, for Valve and the game.
and they've added a new core feature called trending free. So now, paid games get their spotlight back, but free-to-play games like, say, Supermarket
Bro, the typical Valve solution to literally any problem on Steam, by the way. This is it. You're looking at it. Okay? Valve doesn't need to invest millions and billions into finding a solution for any problem that they themselves create or magically pops up. You know what they do? They just create a new tab here. Trending free. There you go. Stuff's free. Let's go, baby. That's how it works, okay? They just make a new list here and that's it.
together, benchmarking tools like the Black Myth Wukong one, and loads of demos. Those are basically away from the paid area, and they now exist in their own free and trending spot, which I think is just a big win for everybody. The next change then is to Steam store pages. So Valve wants a store page for a game to just be a store page for a game. They don't want it to be other things, and that means policy decisions are being made. From September, they will be banning off-Steam links. They'll be banning the advertising of other games and any imagery.
Oh, hell yeah. Valve's consolidating power boys here, okay? Allowing outside links from Steam to different pages obviously reduces the time that people spend on Steam, aka the likelihood that they're gonna buy something off of Steam, okay? Even money lost counts even if you get it an hour later, okay? So, yeah. I'm surprised, honestly. Well, I'm not too surprised they allow this because typically most companies kind of allow this. But, I'm not surprised if Valve is getting rid of this, okay? Hey, if you're going to call Valve an evil monopoly, they can make it so. And you know what? I'm not gonna complain. This is a good evil monopoly. This is where my organs are gonna go when I die.
That replicates their store functions, like as an example, having a wish list button like within a bit of your game's marketing or a screenshot or something like that.
I have one wish list item currently, and it's Frostpunk 2. And I don't know where my wish list is, so I don't know where I can find it because I don't use Steam like that. I have like a bunch of games. I don't know how many I have. Let's see. 50 exactly games. Okay, some of them are free though. So, what now?
Now, this was prompted by store pages that look like this one. This was spotted by the creator of SteamDB, and what you can see is links to 4 other games and a community Discord. Now, this, of course, happens for fairly understandable reasons. If you're an indie dev, right, where are you going to get most of your traffic? The answer is not your own website. So what actually happens is a store page and community hub for a game ends up being, well, it ends up being your equivalent of a website. So if you're a developer, you'll perhaps want to move people over to your Discord.
This is an interesting choice, because if stuff like this, for example, is no longer going to be allowed, that arguably is a dent for Valve, because if someone looks at a game and then they can see the games that that company has made and something piques their interest more, well, they're gonna buy it, and that's still a win for Valve. So, I don't know, something like this kind of seems, you know, do they really want to get rid of this? Because if some developer has made a really good game, well, if a game exists that's really good and that developer has other games, I may want to try them.
Where you can give a better experience, perhaps. If you're a publisher, well, maybe you'll want to also on a store page promote other games. Maybe there's cross-promotion there, and maybe as a publisher you think, okay, well, if we're cross-promoting all of our games on all of our Steam pages, then that will just be more visibility and more sales for everybody, which is great. But of course, from Valve's perspective, that's just not what they think a store page should be for. And when they're thinking about the customer experience in their platform, they just want it to be more clear and simple. So overall, there are some obvious downsides here. If you're a user and you find it useful, let's say a discount for another game that is related to the game that you're currently looking at, if you thought it was useful that that discount could be linked there, if you maybe thought it was useful that you could have easy access to the community Discord without having to maybe search for the developer on, like, you know, X or whatever platform, well, yeah, you will kind of lose out. And if you're an indie developer, well, this certainly means that you'll have a far harder time redirecting the massive amounts of traffic that you can get from Steam over to somewhere else. But I think what this fundamentally will do is it will mean the developers will have to think about sort of building their own castle, having a strong social media presence, actually doing things outside of Steam. I can certainly see that being more work, I can see that being annoying, but the flip side of that is for a user, it means that a Steam page is a Steam page is a Steam page. They'll all operate in the same way, and you'll have a consistent experience. It could actually be that Valve just sees loads of like user confusion and stuff like that on Steam, and that this is just a way for them to make that go away. Now, Steam, of course, is, yes, the platform, yes, the storefront, but also SteamOS is a Linux distro, and this is where things get kind of fun. So, Valve are still open to SteamOS on other platforms, and this was captured by The Verge. Now, you may have seen a lot of people say, oh man, I cannot believe that The Verge had the gall to publish an article on Deadlock, the new game coming out from Valve, that honestly I think looks absolutely sick, and I can't wait to play. In fact, I don't even know who, but I got a Steam notification on my phone saying that I've been invited to the playtest, so who knows? Maybe I will have to play the game and then hit the escape key and not agree to the secrecy thing. That being said, I've got way too much value in my Steam account, and I do not want to lose that shit. But anyway, a lot of people thought The Verge had been blacklisted, but that's definitely not the case, because days after that happened, The Verge reached out to Valve for comment, and they got a response. Certainly doesn't seem like a blacklist. Anyway, what's happened is SteamOS update notes that include...
Why would you keep The Verge on, though, Valve? Why? It's The Verge. No one cares.
Included this: added support for extra ROG Ally keys. And this is, of course, kind of relevant because the ROG Ally X launched a few weeks back, and it really is a fantastic piece of kit. I've got a ROG Ally, the base one, and to be honest, I think it's really fantastic. Even just playing Helldivers on it, and the fact that it's...
I will never buy a handheld because I value my sanity too much. I already spend way too much time on the computer. Obviously, most of us do, right? I don't want to be in a situation where I go outside and I'm like, okay, time to game, but it's outside. No. When I'm outside, I want to do different things. Mainly look at hot chicks, but that's a different story. So I'm never going to have a handhold, okay? It's not happening, no. I want to relax. If I have to go on the bus, I'll probably sleep or whatever. It's different. Okay, no handholds. That's a big no-no.
It's got a high refresh rate screen. As much as the DAC OLED is really nice for, obviously having an OLED, playing Dusk at like the maximum frame rate on that thing felt great. But anyway, the problem with the ROG Ally is it doesn't use SteamOS. It just is using Windows, which kind of blows. Now, what does help you a lot there is Steam Big Picture mode, which is actually fantastic, and it does lead to a really good user experience, but it's not quite as good as just how native and I suppose console-like things are on a deck using SteamOS. Now, responding to questions from The Verge, Valve designer Lawrence Yang confirmed that they are still iterating on the tech for the purposes of third-party devices, and that's the great news. Here's a quote. "The note about ROG Ally keys is related to third-party device support for SteamOS. The team is continuing to work on adding support for additional handhelds on SteamOS," which basically is confirming that that's going to be a thing. Now, does this mean that we can expect, rapidly being able to dual boot SteamOS onto one of these things? Well,
Bro, I have literally no idea what the words dual boot even mean.
no, not yet. Very explicitly not anytime soon. Yang described it as being something
If I had to bet, I would place my my money on that. That sentence doesn't even make sense. Dual boot. What the fuck?
that, quote, isn't ready to run out of the box yet. And he also did say that dual booting in Steam Deck is being worked on as well. So even though they just shipped things like APU, audio, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth drivers for Windows on Steam Deck OLED, they're very much adamant that it's not fully done yet, and official support is just not something, that they're doing. So I'm sure there are ways for, an enterprising user to do fun things there, but it's not a fully Valve-backed experience, because even right now, say, the audio drivers are not working on the native speakers of the device. They'll only work for Bluetooth and headphones. So there are still loads of little kinks that have got to be ironed out there. But
Okay, is that it? Because, I don't care about handheld devices. Anyway, that was Bellior. Steam doing things. Yet again. Wow, who would have expected? If Valve only used this power to try and take over the world, I would kind of be okay with the one world government, because it would not be a shitty one run by Gabe, the king. Anyway, have a nice day. Bye bye.